When you hear a song, it's kinda easy to decide if the lyrics are good or bad. But that is some subjective judgment. Who's the #1 Billboard artist today? Artist 100. #1 is Adele. Today we're gonna use some objective criteria to see if Adele's lyrics are any good. By the way, I'm Vadusha and I'm the best expert in lyrics in the entire world, and maybe even on YouTube. As always, I'll let this version of me draw a cat while we find out if Adele is any good at writing lyrics. And what do you do before you analyze any lyrics? You like the video and subscribe. Let's find what Adele's top songs are. Adele top 10. We need an authority to decide. Let this be the Rolling Stone magazine. Every Adele song ranked. That's neat. Let's pick 5 to be more objective. When we were young, Someone Like You, I'd Drink Wine, Rolling in the Deep, of course, and Hello. Yeah, these sound like Adele's top songs. This is the first video in this series. The further we go, the more artists we'll have, and we'll be able to compare Adele to somebody else. Let me know in the comment section which artist you think I should analyze next. I found the lyrics. I copied the lyrics in a document here. We'll go through the lyrics. I got a little checklist here. We'll see her overall performance over the 5 songs. There's several criteria, including her rhythmic skills, rhyming skills, stylistic expressive device, storytelling, and overall control over how she writes her lyrics. Let's start with rhythmic skills. One way. Do at least some lines repeat in rhythm, meaning is the poetic meter the same in at least some lines? Let's see. Adele's songs are kinda not too even. Everybody loves the things you do, from the way you talk to the way you move. These two match. From the way you talk, because you feel like home, to the way you move. There's this your, which seems like it's something out of place. We delete that, it's more even, like a dream come true. At least these all match. But if by chance you're here alone, can I hear a moan before I go? It's hard to win me back, everything just take me back to where you were. That's all over the place. But at least some of the lines do match, but that's barely the case. Alright, so some lines do match, yes. Do over 80% of lines repeat in rhythm? No, absolutely no. There's plenty of unjustified deviations from the rhythm. And by justified, I mean if you have a verse and the last line breaks the pattern, the first few lines, that's it. That's what a justified rhythm break is. Here, it's not quite justified. It's just the way the wording did flow, I guess. Does the song use more than 1 meter? Yeah, that's the case. You look like a movie, you sound like a song. My god, this reminds me of when we were young. That's a chorus. It does change the meter. Even these two change meter. That's a no. That's a no. That's a yes. Is there a repeating meter? That's not one of the 5 go-to standard poetic meters. Everybody loves the things you do. From the way you walk. Yeah, this does use some odd meters. Right, so rhyming. Do all lines rhyme, excluding justified broken expectation? Do, move, you, true. Kinda does rhyme. Alone, long, go, no. Me, here, said, me. Barely rhyming here, there, on, gone, care, care. These two don't rhyme, but the there and care part does rhyme. Most of the lines do rhyme, though the rhyming is not perfect. Are over 50% of rhymes not hack or cliche, like song and long, like move and groove. Do, you, that's a cliche kind of thing. True and move are fine. Alone and long, yeah. There's no fancy rhyming here like Eminem level rhyming, but those lines that do really rhyme are kind of cliche. The rest of the lines barely rhyme, so I'll take it off as no. Are there no weak rhymes in strong positions? There's plenty of weak rhymes in strong positions. And strong positions are ends of verses, ends of choruses. True and move, that's a weak rhyme. Go and no, that's a strong rhyme. Here and left me, that's no rhyme at all. That's a no for sure. 3 instances of internal rhyming. Feel like here and feel and dream. This looks like an internal hear and feel and dream. Moment, alone, go. That's some nice alliteration here. When we were, like, might, time, realized. This sounds like an internal rhyme here. Nobody told me. Oh. Well, yeah, we just found 3 instances of internal rhyming here. Is there at least 1 instance of a holo rhyme? And a holo rhyme is when an entire line rhymes another entire line. 2 lines have all syllables that rhyme with each other. No. Expressive devices. Let's see if there's any. First one is tropes. That's a word level expression. Let's see if there's some word level imagery here, like metaphors, metonymies, similes, and that kind of stuff. That's a simile. You look like a movie, you sound like a song. These are 2 similes. The rest of it it's pretty straightforward. Words are used in their direct meaning. We don't see much figurative use of words. There's just one trope. It's very, very unexpressive. I would say this is a no. We found 3 similes and that's kind of it. Schemes. These are syntactic devices above word level. This is the order of wording, repetitions, questions, and this has plenty of questions. Rhetorical questions, check. Repetitions, parallelisms. You look like a movie, you sound like a song. That's a nice one. There's some parallelism here. Everybody. Yeah, enough syntax devices to take this off as a yes. Defied expectation, irony, allusions, and quotes. Don't really see any of these. Let me know in the comments if I missed a quote or an allusion. Signature, unique devices. No. Any deviations from stylistic register. No archaic wording. Nothing is too much slang. It seems very plain, very common language. That's probably why it rings with so many people. Right, so no, that's a no here. Storytelling on all levels, like a word level, line level, verse level, song level, then curveballs. Is there a scheme to storytelling? Let's say line level, like climax. If you describe the cake, it could be good, tasty, delicious. When the intensity increases or decreases, that's what a climax is. No, don't see any storytelling. At a line level, let's see if there's verse level storytelling. Yeah, there's some storytelling, like direct storytelling. That's an exposition. Everybody loves the things you do and everybody here is watching you. But if you're here alone by any chance, so there's some development there. We're changing the perspective here from one person to another person through all verses. Let's see if it changes. So there's somebody pretty popular and she wants to be one-on-one with them to figure something out because she's not sure if it's the person who left her and presumably moved overseas, reminding her of the times they were young. Yeah, there is some development. I wouldn't say there's a curveball in here. This looks like a curveball, but this doesn't curve the story, so I guess no. And there seems to be no 3-act structure with exposition, rising action or rising stakes, and then climaxing and wrapping up. Let's see if it is. Exposition, there it is. There's rising action, then still rising action. I would say no, but it's pretty close to it. She met somebody who reminds her of somebody else who had left her, but there's no resolution to the problem. I don't see if it resolved in the end. It just hangs there. We're left with a cliffhanger, so I guess no. Control over songwriting. Are most punchlines and interesting ideas in strong positions? Let's see that. You're like a dream come true. Well, yeah, someone I used to know. Well, yeah, it kind of took her a bit too long to get here. That's a nice loop here. Look like a movie, sound like a song. Just like a movie, just like a song. It's a nice loop. We don't really realize that that's the person who had left Adele before we hear this very last line. And that's a sign of very good control over her writing. This very punchline here is in the exact spot it needs to be. Right before the chorus. Yes, is logic okay? Yeah, no logic deviations there. And I've seen some songs that break logic all over. Is the message clear? Well, yeah, it doesn't feel satisfyingly finished, but it's clear. Is specific prevalent over generic? Oh no. There's a video about noob mistakes that I made earlier. Might want to see what specific over generic means. Alright, things you do, nothing specific here. Nothing specific here, nothing specific here. Everything is very, very generic. Even moving overseas is just overseas. Anywhere, literally anywhere. We don't even know overseas in relation to what. Overseas from Mongolia? Who knows? That's very generic, so no. Can say the lyrics are a whole and not a patchwork of unrelated pieces? Yeah, it does look like a one-piece song. It doesn't look like a Frankenstein monster. Like Adele had a series of unrelated notes in her notebook and then pieced them all together to make a song. This looks like a thoroughly written piece of lyrics, beginning through end. So I guess yes. To sum it up, the maximum score is a 5, so we can see that Control so far is her strongest thing. Let's see how well other songs do. Someone Like You. I heard that you're settled down, that you found a girl and you're married now. Yeah, this sounds like a nice verse. At least some lines do have the meter right. I guess just first criteria is met. Over 80% of lines don't repeat in rhythm. There's plenty of unjustified deviations from the rhythm. 1 meter, yes, it does change meter in the chorus and the pre-chorus, and the meter itself is kind of nice. It's not one of the 5 go-to meters. It's not like iambic pentameter pentameter kind of thing. It's all over the place. There's these little free lines here. There's changing rhythms. So yeah, I guess that's a yes here. There's a nice deviation from the rhythm. We had 3 little sublines here, and there's 4. So, and verse 1 was 3 sublines, so it nicely breaks the structure, define our expectation of what the pattern is, refreshing our attention here. So that's a nice device here. Rhyming, do all lines rhyme? Down, now, true, you. I'm guessing these 2 are supposed to rhyme. Shy, light, uninvited, fighted, reminded, flies, lives, praised, haze, nothing compares, no worries or cares, regrets and mistakes, their memories made. Well, it does rhyme mostly. Over 50% rhymes not hack. Well, there's a couple of interesting rhymes. Girl, heard. Well, okay, that's not a hack rhyme. True, you, that's a hack rhyme. Uninvited and fighted is a nice one. Reminded, uninvited, fighted. That's not hack rhyming. You too, that's some hack rhyming there. Haze and days, that's some hack rhyming there. So I guess this is better in terms of rhyming than the previous song. No weak rhymes in strong position. There are weak rhymes in strong positions. 3 instances of internal rhyming. Not saying any internal rhyming. Hate to turn up out of the blue, uninvited. Couldn't stay away, couldn't fight it. Wish nothing but the best for you. No. Regrets, memories, made. There's 1 instance. This one's not good with internal rhyming. At least 1 instance of a whole rhyme. No. Nothing compares. Worries or cares. This is a good attempt at a whole rhyme. Not a whole rhyme though. Next one, expression. Let's see if there's tropes. Both songs share the same topic. Looks like that's a common topic with Adele. Hide from the light is a metaphor. Not a bright metaphor, but still. Turn out of the blue and uninvited. I would say these are synonyms used to enforce each other. So that's a trope there. Glory days, that's a good epithet. Right, this is more expressive in terms of tropes. Schemes. Let's see if there's any repetitions. I heard. There's a repetition here. You did that, you did this, you did that. There's patterns. I'll find. I wish I remember. I do this, I do this, I do this. So there's some schemes in this song. Any defied expectation of irony? No, not at all. Signature unique devices? I wouldn't say so. Deviations from the stylistic register? 0. Storytelling, line level. This little piece here. Worries, cares, regrets, mistakes. This goes from a potential bad situation that's inside one's head to actual regrets, transforming to memories. In just 3 lines, this all happens. That's some nice storytelling there. So I would say yes. Verse level. There's a story here. Settle down, found a girl, married now. Through all verses. Alright, so first verse, there's some exposition. Adele telling us that her partner left her for somebody else. Then she remembers the good old days. Then she kinda is aiming at resolving that feel, but it does still taste bittersweet. It doesn't resolve. So I would say there's a story. The attitude changes through all the verses. There's no curveballs, and there's no neat storytelling structure. Though the structure is kind of the same as with when we were young. There's the exposition, there's the reminiscence, and there's the kind of aiming at a resolution, but there's no resolution. Same kind of structure. Control. Punchlines in strong positions. Married now, didn't give to you. These are 3 little verses in the beginning. That's an odd one. We could just throw it away with no damage to the song whatsoever. The best position for bittersweet here is the very last, so it would be here. That this would taste bittersweet, and then rhyme it with something. No, I would say most punchlines are not in strong positions. Is logic okay? Yes, the logic is kind of okay, except for these 2 parts. The message is clear, still very generic, as we've just seen, nothing specific. Lyrics are a whole? No. It does seem like she had different pieces of lyrics, different verses for the same kind of idea. All the verses aim at the same idea, but they don't glue together nicely. This is an odd one out. Why is this even here? Second verse, it's kind of empty. Message-wise, it doesn't add value to the song. I guess it would have done the song good to rewrite the entire second verse. So she, being an abusive ex, turning up to restore the relations, or at least to bug a married person. A weird thing to sing about. Okay, so I guess no, this is a patchwork of unrelated pieces. So the logic is okay. It all aims at the same thing, but it's a patchwork. Right, this one's the same. It ranks the same, but in a different way, with a different balance of criteria. I drink wine rhythmically. How can one become so bounded by the choices that somebody else makes? There's an extra syllable there. This is all over the place. I'd say no. The meter is not consistent, and it looks like it's not a deliberate choice for the rhythm to be inconsistent. Plenty of deviations. It kind of does change rhythm from these longer lines to these shorter lines. It kind of does make sense when the verse is long lines, uneven rhythm, and the chorus is shorter lines, but there's not enough contrast between the chorus and the verse rhythm-wise. Uneven rhythm, long lines versus uneven rhythm, short lines. This could be even rhythm, long lines, uneven rhythm, short lines, or even better, uneven rhythm all over the place, long lines, and very, very consistent short lines. More contrast, more expression usually. But hey, who am I to judge? So yeah, it is justified. Repeating meter, no, there's no repeating meter at all. This one's the worst in terms of meter so far. Rhyming, bounded, makes, version, like. What? Buddy, sacrifice, satisfied. Some lines do rhyme. Those words that do rhyme are not hack rhymes. That's a yes here. Weak rhymes in strong position. There's a strong position, there's no rhyme at all. Internal rhyming, become, somebody, choices, both, person. Well, yeah, there's some internal rhyming. Anywhere else? Blow and soak, probably. Believe and keep. Fire, claiming. Well, I guess there is some internal rhyming. Okay. Hollow rhyme. No. Tropes, bounded by choices, a version of a person we don't even like. Nice metaphor there. Keep climbing, syntactic devices. There's a reverse here. We're in love with the world, but the world. Play hard, work hard. It's another pattern. Why am I? Yeah, there's patterns, there's schemes. Defied expectation, irony, illusions, and quotes. Guess no. The stylistic register here is pretty consistent. Storytelling, any line level storytelling. No. There's some storytelling here, but that's a weak one. Trying, climbing. Yeah, there's some storytelling. Verse level, well, I guess the child story is an example of verse level storytelling. Through all verses, that's the present, again describing the problem, then reminiscing, and there's questions. There is some storytelling through all verses, but it doesn't resolve, so I guess no here and a no here. Control, punchlines in strong positions. Let's see if there's any. I would swap these two lines. This looks like a more expressive line. This is a nice punchline here. That's a nice punchline here. I would say so, yeah. Logic is okay. The message is clear. Specific is not prevalent over generic. Everything is generic as usual. Lyrics are a whole, but nah, it doesn't make storytelling better. It's a bit weaker than the other two. I would guess this is a song that predates these two. This is an earlier work. That's my guess. I'm not sure. Rolling in the deep. Let's see if the rhythm is okay. There's a fire starting in my heart. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. At least some lines do repeat. Reaching a fever pitch. Go ahead and sell me out. Well, at least some lines do match in rhythm. 80% of the lines, not sure. No. Very inconsistent again. Deviating all the time. The very first lines are a nice hook. We instantly recognize the song by the rhythm driving it. So yeah, I guess that's a nice one. And it changes meter. There's a fire starting in my heart too. We could have had it all. It breaks rhythm here. Short, long, short. That's a nice development in terms of rhythm. The rhythm itself is changing over time consistently. That's a nice stylistic device. I would say yes, there's some repeating rhythm. That's not one of the common ones. Rhyming. Do all lines rhyme? Heart, dark, pitch, clear, out, there. Kinda does rhyme. If you want these two to rhyme, you have to sing clear, there, and she doesn't. She sings clear and there. These two don't rhyme in Adele's version. You do. Heart, dark, love, thinking. Not all lines rhyme. It looks like Adele does not quite care if it rhymes or not. She does have very strong melodies and harmonies, so probably rhyming is not the most important thing for her. 50% of rhymes non hack or cliche. Well, I would say of all the lines that do rhyme, over 50% are not cliche. Weak rhymes in strong positions. Oh yes. Internal rhyming. Fire, starting, heart. That's some internal rhyming. Bringing, reaching, fever, pitch. There is some internal rhyming, no hollow rhymes. Expressive devices. Let's say tropes. Fire starting in my heart. A metaphor. Lay ship bare. This one is way more figurative than the other songs. I wonder if it's one of her first real big hits. Schemes. This one's repeated right here, so that's a nice one. There's some repetition here. This thing repeating not only in the chorus, but also reappearing in a verse. I would say there are some schemes. Defied expectation are in illusions quotes. No. Unique devices. I'd say no. And by unique devices, I mean metaphors and similes and tropes and schemes that blow your mind when you hear them. Nothing blows our mind here. Everything is pretty bland, but way more expressive than the three previous songs. Deviations from the stylistic register, I'd say no. Storytelling. Line level. Fire, burning, and reaching a fever pitch. It is line level storytelling. Verse level storytelling. That's some nice storytelling with a loop structure at a verse level, so I'd say yes. Now, through the verses. She's being vengeful here, increasing the intensity of her vengefulness. There's a fire starting, so she's unsure, but she's feeling it's gonna become a huge thing. And it does become a huge thing in the second verse, and then the speed changing to a beating here, so it does intensify through the song. There is some song level storytelling. And no curveball. There actually is the 3-act storytelling. There's an exposition, her telling that she's starting to feel vengeful. Then this feeling evolving, reaching a climax, and then settling down in the last verse. And the music does mirror this development. So I would say this has a nice 3-act structure there. So control, punchlines and strong positions. That's a nice punchline there. That's a nice one. Played it to the beat. That's a nice punchline, and that's a nice play in words, actually. And then changing the beat to beating is another pun, which works nice in the context of the song. Yeah, I'd say that's a yes. Is logic okay? Yes, it is. Is the message clear? Oh, sure. Specific, prevalent over generic? No, sir. Can we say the lyrics are whole? Yes, they are. This song did better than the previous 3, and we can see why. Its rhythm is better, and it's more expressive than the average, and then its storytelling is better, and it does look like the writing was more in control. So last one, hello. Do at least some lines repeat in rhythm. Hello, it's me. I was wondering if I'd like to meet. Go. This one's all over the place. That's very inconsistent, so I'd guess no lines repeat in rhythm. More than 1 meter. Yeah, it does change meter. Again, the same device used here. Long and inconsistent lines in verses turn into shorter pre-choruses, which turn into mid-length lines in choruses. All of the 3 are inconsistent. Again, if the choruses were shorter and more consistent, it would make more contrast. Though including these pre-choruses does contrast the choruses a little more from the verses. Having this little shim in between them makes the choruses stand out a bit more. So I would say more than 1 meter. There's no repeating meter at all. So I'd say no. This is weak one in terms of rhythm. What about rhyming? Me, meet, everything, helia, healing. Difference between us, miles. Side, times, sorry, done, never, home. Not all lines rhyme. All the rhymes are near rhymes. No actual rhyming. Internal rhyming. Hello, wondering, all these years, go over, supposed to, younger, forgotten. Yeah, there is some internal rhyming. Whole rhyme, no. Tropes. This common theme of regretting a past relationship and trying to restore the relationship is very, very annoying at this point. Probably I'm not the target audience for the songs. Healing is a metaphor. World filled of feet, which is a weak metaphor. Hello from the other side is a metaphor. Tear you apart. Just a couple of metaphors and that's it. No, I'd say no. Schemes, let's see. Hello, hello, hello. So the hello is already a scheme. So this heal and healing is an inversion. Supposed to heal, but ain't done much healing. And this other side and outside does look like a play in words. Changing perspective. Hello from, hello from. Alright, let this be a yes. Schemes are something Adele is good at. Defied expectation. No. And by this no, I mean a yes. There's no deviation from the stylistic register. Storytelling. Line level. That's some line level storytelling right here. Time's supposed to heal you, but it doesn't. Verse level. There's some verse level storytelling, verses 1 and 2. Through all verses. That's an exposition. That's expanding on the exposition. Then chorus, rising the stakes. That's remembering the past again. That's very, very common with Adele. Nothing really changes. Some more reminiscences. And she wondering what happened to him. Alright, so through all verses, probably yes. No curveballs. And there's no 3x structure to the storytelling. Control. Punchlines in strong positions. This one's kind of nice. This one's not. Kind of hard to say, actually. There's no interesting ideas. And there's no rhyming. Well, I guess, yeah, that's a good one. Not sure. I would say no. There's no punchlines or interesting ideas. It's just, it does sound like a stream of consciousness. Is the logic okay? Kind of yes. Is the message clear? Yep. Specific, prevalent over generic? Not at all. But the difference from the rest of the lyrics is that there's a specific state, California there. The first time we see Adele using something specific in her lyrics. At least that. Alright, so let's sum it up and see what Adele is all about. There's some graphics for you. Her strongest point is control over her lyrics, I guess. She does seem like a skilled writer. Second strongest is storytelling. And the feeling we get from listening to Adele kind of matches these results. When you use objective criteria, you get objective results. And you get some explanation behind your feeling. And expression seems kind of there, but not too much. Weaker than storytelling or control over her writing. She's not very good at rhyming and her rhythms are inconsistent, that's for sure. There's a feeling that her songs are very expressive, but I'm guessing that's because of her melodies and mostly because of the way she sings, because she's a fantastic singer. Alright, so not too good at rhyming, rhythms are inconsistent, she does have very good control over her writing, and that results in good storytelling and kinda okay expression. And if we dig deeper in expression, we realize that she's not very good with tropes, with word level figurative devices, but she's kinda good with syntax, with how her words are positioned, with repetitions, with loops, with these kind of things. Thank you all for still watching this video. I hope it was at least a little bit helpful to you, and I wish all of you as much success as you need in your creative endeavors, because you're awesome. You are.